Mysterious music fades in the shadowy corridors of medical history, nestled between the pages of ancient papyri and medieval manuscripts, lie treatments so bewildering they border on the fantastical. I am your guide through this labyrinth of peculiar healing arts, where the line between medicine and madness often blurred into obscurity. The quest to heal has led humanity down some truly perplexing paths. What you're about to witness is not merely a catalog of oddities, but a testament to our species' desperate ingenuity in the face of suffering. When archaeologists uncovered the Edwin Smith Papyrus from ancient Egypt, they didn't just find a medical text. They opened a portal to a world where magic and medicine danced in ethereal harmony. This journey through the strangest remedies ever devised begins now. The ancient world birthed healing traditions shrouded in mystery, where the bizarre often masqueraded as the beneficial. In Egypt, physicians prescribed mellified man, human remains preserved in honey, to treat everything from broken bones to epilepsy. The more privileged would consume actual mummified flesh, ground into powder and mixed with liquid, believing the ancient dead could heal the living. Across the desert in Mesopotamia, exorcism rituals merged with primitive surgeries. Clay tablets from Babylon reveal that doctors might drill into your skull, not because they understood brain anatomy, but because they believed demons needed an escape route. The patient would remain conscious, their screams considered part of the healing process. The Greeks and Romans wove their own peculiar tapestry of treatments. Gladiator blood, still warm from the arena, was collected and sold as an epilepsy cure. The physician Galen recommended that those suffering from tumors apply a paste made from crocodile excrement. This wasn't fringe medicine. It was prescribed by the most respected healers of antiquity. In ancient China, instead of aspirin, you might receive a tincture containing powdered deer antlers. For fertility issues, women consumed mercury, tragically unaware they were poisoning themselves in their quest for children. These remedies persisted not for years, but for centuries, their longevity a testament to our ancestors' faith in authorities rather than evidence. As we descend into the enigmatic realm of medieval medicine, the treatments grow even more confounding. The theory of 4 bodily humors, blood, phlegm, black bile, and yellow bile, dictated treatments that seem like macabre theater to modern eyes. Too much blood? Physicians would create precise incisions to drain it, often using astrological charts to determine the ideal location and timing. The wrong humor imbalance might be corrected with a tonic containing powdered Egyptian mummy, urine, or toxic metals. Balance, they believed, could only be restored through these extreme interventions. Black Death unleashed not just unprecedented mortality, but unprecedented medical experimentation. Plague doctors, their bird-like masks filled with herbs and flowers, prescribed treatments that defy comprehension. One particularly bewildering cure involved shaving a chicken's rear end and strapping it to bubonic plague boils. The still-living bird was thought to draw out the pestilence. When the chicken inevitably died presumably from poisoning rather than plague, it was replaced with another unfortunate fowl. Another treatment involved sitting in sewers, where the bad air was thought to drive away the worse air causing plague. Patients literally chose to bathe in excrement rather than suffer without intervention, a haunting reminder of how desperation clouds judgment. Perhaps no medieval practice evokes more visceral discomfort than trepanation, the deliberate drilling of holes into the human skull. What's truly unnerving is not that this was attempted, but that archaeological evidence suggests some patients survived multiple procedures. Migraine sufferers, the mentally ill, and those believed possessed all found themselves beneath the trephine. Some skulls show signs of healing, hinting at a success rate just high enough to perpetuate the practice. One cannot help but wonder, what desperate pain would make drilling into one's skull seem like a reasonable option? Meanwhile, those seeking spiritual cures might pay handsome sums to touch a saint's preserved finger bone or drink water that had washed a holy relic. Faith and medicine were intertwined in ways modern minds struggle to comprehend. As the Renaissance dawned and anatomical knowledge expanded, you might expect treatments to become less bizarre. You would be mistaken. The 16th century introduced mercury as the primary treatment for syphilis, administered through ointments, vapor baths, or direct ingestion. The mantra among physicians was telling: a night with Venus, a lifetime with Mercury. Patients quite literally drooled, sweated, and salivated as the toxic metal ravaged their bodies. Yet the treatment persisted for centuries, with physicians interpreting these poisoning symptoms as signs the disease was being expelled. Bloodletting reached its zenith during this period. George Washington himself was bled of nearly 5 pints in a single day, roughly half his blood volume, for a throat infection. He died shortly thereafter, though debate continues about whether the infection or the treatment claimed him. The Victorian era brought refinement to strange medicine. Proprietary electrical devices promised to cure everything from impotence to melancholy. Women diagnosed with hysteria received intimate treatments from physicians using primitive vibrating devices, a practice so common it was considered unremarkable. Patent medicines flourished, their secret formulas often containing alcohol, cocaine, or opium. Children's teething remedies might contain morphine, while weight loss tonics could include arsenic. These weren't black market concoctions, but respected commercial products, advertised in the finest publications and endorsed by social elites. The dawn of the 20th century brought scientific advancement, but not immediate wisdom. Radium water, literally radioactive water, was sold as a health tonic, with the wealthy paying premium prices to consume what we now know was a deadly poison. The manufacturers themselves died of radiation poisoning, their bones literally glowing in their coffins. Cigarettes were prescribed for asthma, with doctors arguing that the smoke would open constricted airways. Cocaine was recommended for children suffering from toothaches, while heroin was marketed by Bayer Pharmaceuticals as a non-addictive cough suppressant safe for infants. Perhaps most disturbing were the psychiatric treatments. Lobotomies, the severing of connections to the brain's frontal lobe, were performed on tens of thousands of patients, often without consent, well into the 1950s. The procedure transformed behavior, not by curing illness, but by fundamentally altering personality. What mysterious logic guided these bewildering approaches? Were our ancestors simply less intelligent? The unsettling truth is far more complex. These treatments persisted not from stupidity, but from fundamental misunderstandings about the body and disease. When illness is attributed to demons, evil humors, or miasmas, treatments that seem irrational to us made perfect sense within their conceptual framework. More haunting still is how many treatments worked just enough to reinforce their use. Mercury did kill the syphilis spirochete, along with damaging the patient. Bloodletting temporarily reduced fever in some conditions. These partial successes created a veil of legitimacy that obscured their deeper harms. Some ancient oddities have found vindication. Willow bark, prescribed for pain since antiquity, contained the precursor to aspirin. The moldy bread applied to wounds in medieval times contained primitive antibiotics. Not all was misguided, though the reasoning behind these effective treatments was often based on superstition rather than understanding. These historical remedies force us to confront an uncomfortable question. What current medical practices will appear barbaric to future generations? Chemotherapy, poisoning the body to kill cancer? Implanting foreign metals into our joints and hearts? Psychoactive medications, whose mechanisms remain partly mysterious. As our journey through medicine's bizarre history concludes, we're left with a haunting paradox. Our ancestors were neither fools nor savages, but humans doing their best with limited knowledge. The history of medicine isn't just a catalog of errors, but a testament to our species' relentless drive to heal, even when that drive led down strange and dangerous paths. Perhaps the most enchanting aspect of this history is not how wrong our ancestors were, but how certain they were of treatments we now know to be useless or harmful. It raises a profound question that should humble even the most confident physician. What certainties of today will become the medical curiosities of tomorrow? Music fades to silence total word count, 1,200 words.